Yeah, Kashat. Kashat. So, yeah, I mean, I know for a fact that I'm not on my own here when I say that often were the evenings I spent as a younger man in relative torment, hoping, praying even, for someone somewhere out there to please, 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 somehow, someway cobble together a halfway serviceable combination of Pipe Mania and Tetris. I know, right? And then just to be greedy, because I am, I got to thinking how, as a somewhat morbid Mickey No Mates, in lieu of the remote possibility of ever finding anyone whom I might engage in fierce yet friendly head-to-head matches, where we would laugh and heartily enjoy the healthy competition our mutual skills afforded us, I would not feel bereft as a single participant due to the other screen being inhabited by some boss-looking dude in a cool mask giving it all this. Well, be careful what you wish for, innit? Cause this'll have you tearing out what little air you've got left as you mill about the screen in a blind panic with no real plan of action other than to turn stuff round and around until this happens. And that's it, really. Unless you're a Spawnigat and somehow it drops so one of these reaction efforts kicks in and makes you feel ever so briefly like you might know what you're doing before the realisation hits that you really don't. And boy, you really don't. Yeah, really, it's just one of them, just one more do then jobs that'll keep you chipping away until your vision starts going a bit funny and you wonder if it's all worth it ultimately. Not just the game, but your place in the big scheme of things. Then you might rub your eyes a bit, go and put kettle on, have a bit of a breather and a good word with yourself about how your existential ruminations never do anyone any favours. Never have, never will. Then after retaining a relatively normal level of composure, you go back and have another do. And so on. Yeah, I think it's fair to say this here chime is one of them Marmite kind of jobs. I guess game is what I'm calling it, but is it a game though, really? Yeah, it really is, I think, isn't it? Well, games like what I'm calling it here, I've said it. So hopefully that puts that to bed. Well, it won't though, will it? It's a fart about, man, isn't it? A doodle, a doss, bit of choddy for the mind or what have you. Few minutes of a job at a time, I mean, yeah, you can stick it on without any sort of time restrictions, but, if like me, you value your sanity, and indeed your sight, following an eyeball-slapping sesh on the aforementioned Kashat, then, I guess a few minutes at a time on this should do you, in between some well-earned sessions of, again, vigorously rubbing your eyes some more, to help regain some semblance of focus, both in your vision and your poor noggin, while you're trying to convince yourself that you really should get to bed sometime soon, and this time you mean it, and this one more do nonsense is kidding no beggar. So knock it at head now, if only for everyone else's benefit. And do you not remember what happened last time you stayed up till all hours playing this sort of thing? And if you do remember, then what's wrong with you, man? Don't you care or something? Sweet Rita Coolidge, man, have you stopped caring altogether? I mean, friggin' hell, what's wrong with you? What is wrong with you? But yeah, Chime, give it a do, if you're up to it. But get a grip and all, will ya? And keep hold this time. Yeah, so, you know, after your eyes stop bleeding, assuming they do, because they don't always. Not much more soothing than this. Chocky chocky. I know what you're thinking. Oh, that's all I need, man. Pointless, lazy pan clone vibes. Well, yeah. And then, most emphatically, no. I mean, could you be a Cowden Beef cowgirl? Or an inebriated chef? Or a snide little magician on Pang? Well, could you or not? And most importantly, really, did Pang ever supply you with the blood type of your bubble-busting harpoonists? That's right, it didn't. So just shut it, eh? This Chocky is Pang squared, man. This is what some of them like khaki shinola things folks say when, much like me, they've not got the brains they were born with. It's like, it's like Pang on Panda Pops, is what it is. It's like Pang on Sherbet Dib Dabs. All that. But in classic nonsensical fashion, while there's more than Pang here, there's also less. And in many ways, again, it truly reflects life's ubiquitous existential dilemmas. Will you ever get to savour the sweet taste of a celebratory baguette? Will anyone? As the name unequivocally suggests, it's a harsh mistress and all is chucky. When you get beat, which will happen again and again and again and again and again, and so on, usually with some dude dropping giant hamburgers on you, or what is commonly referred to in our house these days as earthquake cake. When you've taken all you can, and you can't take no more, I'd forget the notion of a heroic send-off or an even halfway dignified death, man. As you simply cast aside, left to die in a desolate valley on your Todd while your heartless cronies naff off for a picnic in a Kif motor vehicle, without even a cursory look back. Or you're left potless and penniless to salvage your supper in a khaki back alley somewhere. Or, gosh forbid, you've got to do a bit of painting. It's a cruel and heartless end to what is, on reflection, a pointless lazy pan clone. Nothing else, as I previously attempted to suggest in order to outfill this segment. Sorry, I said. Right off the bat, I've got to confess that I'm a sucker for Castle of Illusion, man. Especially on Mega Drive. Proper pop me 16-bit cherry did this, going well back. Certainly console-wise, any road. When my mate Martin, over in Barlick, and his pals chipped in on a Japanese import Mega Drive before they come out officially over here. And we went over to see what all fuss were about. And Eki Pac-Man, there was some fuss. From what we'd seen up until then on like 8-bit stuff at home, this was a massive leap, man. For the first time ever, it felt like, you know, you got an arcade machine in your front room. Ridiculous stuff. And don't think I don't know how much of a clapped out old fart I sound here, because I do know that. Eki Peck, I know that if no else, man, but in times when you can fit hundreds, if not thousands, of similar games to this on your phone, at the time, man, this looked amazing. Amazing. But it played like a dream and all, man, and that was the thing. Probably my first real experience of what you could do with a license and all, instead of just milking it like. Yeah, it's probably a bit on the easy side maybe in big scheme of things, but it's a nice introduction to 2D platformers for kids, just getting into the right kind of kit. And beyond that, I've lost count how many times I've played it through this, and I'm still finding stuff tucked away here and there. One of a handful that I dig out every year or two just to skip through. It's a belter, man.